Let's head over to Twitter. Right. Oh, it's posted to Twitter, so, I mean, I don't need to do that then. Hi. How are we doing? The only thing with this lamp gets so hot, like so ridiculous, it kicks out so much heat. But if I turn it off, it looks rubbish, so take my hair off a bit, I think. I look tired, thank you. Hi, Luz. I'm good. And Kelly, hi. God. Oh dear, how are we doing? This tea is so strong because I've used this. This is like a little Disney cafetiere thing that I used. And I thought I was being clever by putting a bit more tea in. But apparently not. And now this is like the strongest tea on the planet. Like to the point where it's bordering on maybe I don't like it. I think I can get through it. Voodoo Angel. Why do I recognise? No, I know. No. This shows you. Right, so I never used to play games online on iPhones. I never used to download games. And I just saw Voodoo Angel come up as a username, and I was like, why do I recognise that name? And it's because I've recently been downloading games from this company called Voodoo. So that shows you how addicted I am to those. This chat moves too fast. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, using a hashtag on Twitter would work if my laptop wanted YouNow to work on Safari. Because I use Safari. I feel like that's a controversial thing to use Safari these days. But YouNow has to run on Chrome. Maybe I could do it on my phone. I mean, I have Google Chrome. That's what I'm using YouNow on. But I just never use it. I don't know why. We could do it on my phone though. That would work. So what would the hashtag be though? I mean, ask Carrie, but that's kind of boring. Oh man, GCSEs. That, just seeing that, those 4 letters makes my heart do that. Even though my GCSEs were a decade ago. Still makes me feel funny. I've seen the Heathers movies a couple times now. The Heathers movie a few times. I watched it I watched it ages ago when it was put onto the British Netflix, just because I loved the musical and wanted to see the movie. And then I watched it again when I was in America after I'd been announced. I don't know Alice Fern. I mean, I know who she is, but I don't know her. 15-hour A-level photography exam. The longest I had to do was 10 hours for art, but 15 hours. Are you doing it over like 3 days? So you're doing like 5-hour chunks? Oh, I did see Alice Fern's tweet yesterday about the person who was sat texting in the front row. During Defying Gravity as well, it's like, you've got like 5 minutes until the interval. Would I play Elphaba? I would love to play Elphaba, but the question is, will Wicked ever have me? That's the question. Why do you flirt with all the men in your life? You don't need male validation. I don't think I do flirt with all the men in my life. Also, if I did, it's not necessarily always for male validation. People are weird. Weird. The audition process for Heathers, it was a hard one because it was all self-tapes, because all of the team who work, like the creative team, or the majority of the creative team, can't speak, are American. And they were obviously all in America. So because no one could be physically put in front of them, I had to like record myself on tape and send it over to them. And I had to, it was like 13 pages of script that I had to learn and read, and Scott helped me. Scott like read against me. But 13 pages was like that's the most I've ever had to read for a role, I think. I think it was like 7 different scenes and 13 pages. And then Dead Girl Walking, Fight for Me, and 17 were the 3. I had 3 songs I had to sing. Am I nervous to play Veronica? Thank you very much, Mim Humphreys. Yeah, I am nervous to play Veronica because it's the first time. It's the first time that Heathers has ever come to the UK. I also know that a lot of the show is still being worked on. Like, they workshopped it here last year, but I think there's still, there's new songs being added that they don't know how that's going to go in front of an audience. You don't know what the audience reaction is going to be. So I feel like this, going to the other palace is still sort of like dipping their toe in the water to see how it's all going to go. Thank you, Rebecca Beckery. So yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna delete Twitter whilst I'm in the show, because I've not even done a single performance yet, and people already have a lot to say about me being cast in the show, and I don't really want to listen to people's negativity and criticism whilst I'm working. Especially not from people that I don't need criticism from, because it always really interests me when someone like criticizes a performance of mine or anybody's, and someone kind of like comes back and says, Like, that's not okay to say that. And then they always shout back with, oh, you can't take criticism. And it's like, well, it's not that I can't take criticism, it's that I don't want to take criticism from a stranger on the internet. Because why would I undermine my authority, like my director and my producer, and change my performance according to the opinion of a stranger on the internet? That would be unprofessional. It would be hugely unprofessional of me to undermine my director for a stranger on the internet. Like, you just don't do that. So it's not about not being able to take criticism. It's about being able to take criticism from the right people. Yeah. Because I trust that my director knows what he's doing, because he's my director, and he's, or she, depending what show he's in. I'm just thinking of Heather's, and it's a he. You know, whoever my director is, I trust their opinion, and I trust they know what they're doing. I don't trust the opinion of a 12-year-old on the internet. Yeah, exactly. It's the same with any career. Like, if you're a teacher, you're going to listen to the headmistress of the school and your authority and your boss. You're not going to, like, if one of your kids tells you, well, maybe even then you'd listen to it. But if a stranger off the street walked in and watched 5 minutes of you teaching and was like, you're a terrible teacher, you're going to be like, can you get out of my classroom, please? You're not going to listen to it. You're just going to be like, leave. The tea's grown on me, by the way. The very, very strong tea has definitely grown on me. I think it's an interesting concept to judge someone's performance before they've even given a performance. That's interesting to me in of itself. But another thing that's interesting to me is if someone isn't an exact copy of the last person who played the role, they're not interested. And it's like, not everyone is going to fit the exact mould of a character. And that's the beauty of theatre. The amazing thing about theatre is, like, if you think about Eponine, for instance, there's been like 30 different Eponines over the years of different races, of like different shapes and sizes. Like, I was a blonde Eponine, and I'm pretty sure the girl who's going in to play Eponine now is black. Like, you couldn't get two more different people, and yet we both still played the same role. Even when it comes down to voices, like, my voice is incredibly different to Nancy Sullivan's. My voice is very different to Danielle Hope's. My voice is very different to Eva Noblezada. We've all got completely different voices to ourselves and to each other. Yet we all played the same role because we all brought something new to the table. And whilst we aren't like each other, we all fit what they wanted for the role. How many people have told you no about acting whatever you're doing? More than I can bear to count. So I'm just reading all of these. There's so many. Yeah, I always said, like, for every, like, from the outside, it's very easy to think about every West End performer, like, oh, they go from job to job to job and they play the most incredible roles, and you know, they lived very charmed lives, but then you don't see the 10 roles that they just got rejected from. Pardon me. You know, for every one job I get, there's like 7 that I don't. Roughly how much time passes between audition and starting a job? It completely depends. Completely depends. Like Heather's, I found out I got the part in February. February, I think. Found I got the part in February, and then maybe even later. I can't remember. I found out I got the part earlier this year, and then I start like 3 months later. With Les Mis, I found out in March, and I started rehearsals. Wait, no. Yeah, found out in March, started rehearsals in May. But then War of the Worlds, I found out I got the part the first time halfway through 2013 and didn't start until the following year, until the end of 2014. So it completely depends. I start rehearsals for Heathers on Monday. Oh, okay, apparently someone's being weird on the YouTube side of things, so I'm going to go over there. Give that a little, see what's going on over there. My laptop's been very slow this evening. I wonder what's making it slow down so much. I have no idea when the rest of the cast of Heathers is being announced. That's nothing to do with me, sadly. I don't know. Right, what's going on the YouTube chat? Oh, wow, okay. How charming. How ever so charming. There we go. Blocked. What do you think about gender swapping in characters? Because I'm playing Edna and Hairspray's Tracy's mum, but I'm a boy. Edna is Tracy Turnblad's mum. Edna Turnblad is usually played by a man. That's kind of always been the way. Like the movie, it was John Travolta. In the show, it was Michael Ball. I think it depends on the role and the character. But Audrey 2 in the new Little Shop of Horrors is usually a man, but this time it's being played by a man in drag, which I think is pretty cool. Is he still commenting? How is he still commenting? I just blocked him. Come on. I can't see his comments now, so I think he's been blocked. As far as I'm okay. As far as I'm aware, I can't speak tonight. I don't know what's going on with me. I can't see him. Why can't I see him? Oh. Okay. What have I done? I think I've screwed this up because I blocked him, but apparently I've personally blocked him, but he's still in the chat. Good work there, Fletcher. Good work. Hear my angry tea put down. Okay, he's gone. Good. My favourite song in Heather's is it's not even one of Veronica's. It's trying to remember how it goes. I'm gonna find it on my iTunes. That's it. I was meant to be yours. We were meant to be one. That one. Oh, that is an amazing song. Thank you, Nora F. No, I was always planning on singing 17. That's a cover I've wanted to do with Rob for a really long time. Oh yeah, the reprise of Dead Girl Walking is absolutely ace. I love Dead Girl Walking, but I feel like the reprise of Dead Girl Walking has so much more sass. I love it. No, I don't think friends and family going to opening night. No, my parents probably are. They've probably booked tickets and not told me because they do that with everything. But do you think being a YouTuber has helped to humanise you as someone with celebrity status? Yes, but I also feel like it gives people a sense of entitlement when it comes to privacy. So I feel like there's ups and downs. I feel like people see me as more as a human being than... Well, I don't know, actually. It's a difficult one. It's hard to gauge. But I feel like there's a line where kind of you kind of hit the point where you go, oh, okay, she's human because we see a lot of her life and stuff. And then it starts to go the other way. And it's like we see so much of her life that we then get to be a part of it and invite ourselves into it, which is where it starts getting into scary territory again. Do you feel like being a YouTuber has actually helped you in the sense of sharing it? Yeah, I do. I love the fact that I get to share like backstage vlogs and what goes into making a show and the rehearsal period. I love all of that because I feel like when you go and watch a show, you see it in that one night, and then it's almost like everything was building up to that one night, and then that was it. The performance was just for the one night that you went to see it. But I like sharing my vlogs because it kind of shows just how much work goes in from everyone to make a show possible. Yeah, there is a Watch Me Wednesday type thing planned for Heather's, which the marketing team actually came up with for me, which is Big Fun Fridays, because they're going to do it anyway for their own like marketing stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to pinch that. The book tour is still currently being talked about. But I'm pretty sure it's all being sort of finalised at the moment, so it shouldn't be too long before it gets released and announced and whatever. Yeah, I definitely recommend watching the film of Heathers if you've not seen it before coming to see Heathers, just for some idea, because I feel like you might be a little bit shocked if you just come and see the show. um, the show is about, the film and the show is about a girl called Veronica Sawyer. Thank you, Kirsty McMonagall. That's a great name. Yeah, it was Mean Girls before Mean Girls, but darker. That's a great way to describe it. It's about this girl called Veronica who gets in with these girls at school called the Heathers. It's like 3 girls and they're all called Heather. And she becomes friends with them because they kind of keep her away from being bullied. Like, they sort of have put her on the map at school. She's sort of like the Katie Heron, and they kind of make her cool. But they're not they're obviously like horrible people. They're not very nice people at all. And something happens where Veronica sort of messes up at a party and does something really uncool, and the Heathers say that they're going to delete her on Monday morning at school. I'm not going to say anymore. And then stuff happens. And Christian Slater. The new book is going to be available in Waterstones. Thank you, Rebecca Beckery. Yeah, I wouldn't advise anyone under the age of 16, maybe even 18, to come and see the show. It's not, I wouldn't say it's family friendly. I wouldn't say it's, I mean, if the theatre says 14 plus, then I kind of have to go with that. But there's swearing, there's adult themes, there's sex. It's not family friendly. I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, it's a bit like Rocky Horror in a sense. Yeah, Wednesday was definitely the bridge between Truly and Veronica. Yeah. I think Veronica would be a Ravenclaw, I feel like. Maybe a Gryffindor, actually. She's quite ballsy, but I feel like she kind of has to be a Ravenclaw because her colour's blue. In fact, all the girls take on a Hogwarts house colour. Like the 3 Heathers and Veronica. They're yellow, red, blue, and green. I know they're just the primary colours, but... Yeah, Heather Chandler definitely isn't a Gryffindor though. Heather's is just at the other palace for now, I think. All I know is that it's just at the other palace. I don't know anything past that, but who knows. I did a cover of 17 at my concert back in March, April. I know. People are weird. Sophie Woods, people are just weird. And I feel like if people already don't like an actress, they make judgments on what they're going to be like in a certain role. So there's nothing you can do about it. I just wish people didn't tag me in it. Because what people think of me is none of my business. Doing the same show over and over again. It doesn't get boring. You get into a swing of things. You get into the groove of doing the same thing over and over again. And there are days when obviously you don't really feel up to the challenge because, you know, if you work in like an office job, you can go into an office job ill or tired or not feeling it and still get the work done. Whereas the work you have to do on stage requires you to be upbeat and, you know, switched on and personality driven, and you need to take on the personality of the character that you have as opposed to the personality and the feelings you're actually feeling. So sometimes there are days when you've had like a really bad day and you don't really particularly feel like being happy and upbeat on stage. Just report that person in the chat. I blocked them, but apparently that wasn't good enough for YouTube to get them out of the chat, annoyingly. I'll have another check just in case there is anything more that I can do. Oh my god, this is so slow. What are you doing? Stop. Oh. So slow. This is being so disgustingly slow. Come on. Come on now. I believe in you. You can do this. Come on. Okay, so what I did what I did was blocked them on It's Way Past My Bedtime, which isn't called that anymore, just Carrie Head Fletcher, instead of doing it on 2032, which is the channel that this is streaming on. My fault. Really sorry about that. Why isn't it giving me opportunities to block them? Hide user report? Does that then also block them? Hide user on this channel? There we go. I think that's everything. There we go. Done. Would I ever want to be a cast member at a Disney park? I don't think I'm allowed because they have very strict rules on public profiles and YouTube channels and stuff like that. Oh, so I got really tired. Yeah, it's amazing that the band for Heathers is all female. It's really cool. Thank you, Sally C. Thank you, Erin Louise. And thank you, Gemma Shear. Everyone's being very, very nice. Oh, good. I'm glad that guy's gone from the chat. What a knob. I'm not gonna go through the long list of pots that I've that I've gone for and not got, because that's depressing. I changed my YouTube channel name just because I felt like I grew out of It's Way Past My Bedtime, and I'm Carrie Hope Fletcher and everything else. So just made sense. God, I've got really bad pins and needles in my foot, my leg. Yes, Oliver Ormson now has a YouTube channel, so you should definitely go and subscribe. I think it's just Oliver Ormson. So yeah, you should definitely go and subscribe to him. Is there anything you're nervous about, Heathers? Yeah, I'm really nervous about people hating me as Veronica. Because I know I'm going to have a great time in the show, and I know I'm going to play it to the best of my ability, and I've had conversations with the director. I've had like an email exchange with the director and the producer, and I know they cast me for a reason, and I know that they liked what they saw when I auditioned for it, and so, you know, I'm confident that they're happy with what I'm bringing to the role. But I know that a lot of people are going to have opinions. And whilst those opinions shouldn't matter to me, I'm going to delete Twitter whilst I'm in the show, because thank you, Courtney T, because I just don't want to invite that negativity in. My mum liked the name Carrie because of Little House on the Prairie. I think that's the story. And I think she wanted me to look like the girl on the show called Carrie, who had like brown hair and in plaits, and I came out blonde. Sorry, mum. When did you know you had an interest or a talent for writing books and theatre? Did you like English? I loved English at school. I used to make up stories when I was like really young, um, and I used to read everything. Um, so yeah, I kind of knew quite early on that I wanted to be an author, or that I wanted to be involved with literature in some shape or form. Yeah, how can I get past writer's block? Just write. I know it's a ridiculous thing to say, but just keep writing, even if you think it's absolutely terrible. Just keep going. Right, I'm going to go in 3 minutes. I can actually feel myself falling asleep. So, how do I put up with Oliver? Oliver's great. I don't put up with him. He's a pleasure to have around. I have seen Matilda the musical. It's amazing. You should definitely go and see it. I don't think I'll ever use Snapchat again. I was never hugely into it in the first place, but now that Instagram has Instagram stories, I love them too much. Hopefully one day there'll be a Carrie Scott Ollie video again. Thank you, Andre. There probably won't be any more ghost tours with Scott, because we're not working together anymore. It was easy when we were in Chitty and Adam's Family. Thank you, Rebecca Beckery. Yeah, it was easy when we were on tour together. But yeah. I loved performing in Wolverhampton, and we have the nicest digs there. Me, Scott, and Ollie were in a really gorgeous house that I absolutely adored. Right, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry this was a slightly short one, but I got halfway through this chat and could feel myself like my eyes closing. So I'm gonna have an early night tonight, I think. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.